Yeah, there was another dog barking. I think she thought the chickens were under attack. Anyways,
uh,
see. Hey, Nick, you're back from Dallas.
Back from Dallas, it was a very upsetting game to be a part of, but at least I got to be there in person to watch the season come to an end. So, as
It's
disappointing as
not
the
over
results
yet.
were, Rob, it's over. Let's
10%
let's call a
chance.
spade a spade. One
10%
percent,
chance.
ten
1%?
percent.
Hey,
Where you? So you're saying that there's
1%
a
is better than
chance?
zero. There's a chance. This is the first week this football season that we've had to do this kind of pod where all three of the main teams that we cover, the Cowboys, the Patriots, and those Philip Rivers led Colts, all lost.
Yeah, and weirdly, the Colts look like they put up the biggest fight, surprising fight. I mean, and the Patriots had a pretty good game too with the refs, and I'm sure you're going to talk about that on
Patriots are
Eastside
playing
News.
two teams. Patriots are playing two teams.
Yeah, but the Colts put up a much bigger fight than I expected, so I think it's going to be kind of exciting talking about how they. I think that deserved a moral victory, especially going in there with the quarterback that hasn't touched the ball for the last 5 years. So that was pretty big.
And hey, I mean, I feel bad for Patrick Mahomes' knee as someone that's blown his knee out twice. I understand, but no one has to go and freeze in Kansas City in January this year. They're out of the playoffs.
Yeah, they're saving the freezing team to be the Buffalo Bills. It looks like, and maybe it's up to you
Yeah, they're
guys to
still
fix that.
Patriots still control their destiny.
Yeah, they got to win out, and we'll talk about that all and more. Let's go jump right into it, Rob. Let's go into Eastside News.
East Side News.
This is Eastside News.
You know, most people out there, after watching that game, would be screaming from the rooftops. But I need to be rational. Why do I have to be rational, Nick? Nick, if you had told me preseason that I was guaranteed that the Patriots would split the season series with the Bills, do you think I would take that?
Easily.
If you had told me in the preseason that the Patriots were guaranteed to win a minimum of 11 games, would I have taken that?
I would take 11 games right now. So yes, I would go with that. 11 games on any season, by the way. 11 games is hard.
Yeah. And if you had told me for the first time since Tom Brady was a quarterback, the Patriots would win 10 straight games, do you think I would have taken that?
Easily. These are all things people would take for their team. I even think good teams.
Yeah. And at the start of this season, longtime home hour fans know, when we talked about preseason, when we did the schedule game, we looked at it like, oh crap, if the Pats do what they can do, they can win 11, 12, 13 games with the right
Mhm.
improvements. We were one of the few calling that. But we also realistically said this is a very young team. They're going to lose some games they should win along the way, and they're going to fight for the 7 seed. Well, we are one Colts loss away from guaranteeing no worse than the 7 seed in the playoffs. And the Patriots still control their own destiny with only 3 losses so far. If they win out, there's nothing Buffalo can do. And you know what? It's no guarantee that Buffalo is going to win out either, unless the ref fairies keep traveling along with them. Now, I am not one that is often going to complain about the refs and honestly mean it. The Patriots, they did it to themselves by not executing in the second half, by shockingly switching from a defense that was pressuring. The first half they were playing to win. The second half, they all of a sudden they were playing not to lose. And Nick, what happens when a team plays not to lose?
I am about to do a big breakdown on shell defense here when we get over to the Dallas Cowboys. So if you want to hear about this and my takes on it, you're about to hear more later. But I'm going to let you have the floor. I'm going to let you have the floor. I agree. You should not play soft. If you have even a 21-point lead, you should not play soft, especially against Josh Allen.
And all of a sudden they flipped. And I know traditionally, like when it's done right, Allen can struggle against the zone. But why start going zone heavy when what you're doing in the first half was working? You were pressuring Josh Allen. He couldn't get away. He was struggling. It was fantastic. And then all of a sudden you start sitting back, playing a conservative zone. You're not rushing anyone. And as far as I could tell, and I'm no expert, we could look at the all 22 view and maybe you could tell me something different. We're not doing that, folks. Don't worry. Those of you that are like, wait, well, we're not going deep analysis here on the Patriots, at least. Hopefully we get a little bit with Nick's Cowboys, but they weren't even spying Allen.
That's
so he was just able to run.
You got to spy. You got to spy Josh Allen.
And then to me, the absolute killer, and this is where I will complain about the refs, the consistency didn't exist. There was very few flags in the first half, and all of a sudden in the second half, it felt like it honestly felt like they got a call from someone and said, hey, make sure this game tightens up. It felt like you were playing like like on all Madden or something, and you knew it was just going to tighten right back up. And the one call and the one non-call that I really lost it at, later in the game, the Pats were driving, but they were struggling. They took a penalty. Drake May took a sack. All of a sudden, now it's like 3rd and 20 something. I don't have the exact stats. I'm sure if I pulled up the summary, I could tell you exactly the drive. But if you watch the game, you know what I'm talking about. You saw the highlights, you know what I'm talking about. May uncorks a deep ball, and it's like, okay, worst case scenario, this is a punt if there's a pick. But here's the thing. He had a receiver that was open. The Bills defender mauls the Pats receiver, grabs him by the shoulder pad, pulls, twists, turns, jumps up, intercepts the ball. No flag. Turnover. Interception. It's like, and I'll talk about how awesome the place was that I watched this game at, but the place erupted. It was 99% pro Pats in this place, and it absolutely erupted. But then even the telecast was like, that wasn't a penalty. And then reading everything later after the game, that was pass interference. No flag turnover. Okay, maybe the defense will right the ship. We're pinning them deep. It'll be okay. But then all of a sudden, Josh Allen's in a similar sort of situation. 3rd and deep. The Pats, the Pats are about to force him to punt. Great. I think it was Carlton Davis makes a great play. His hand literally, and I am a homer, but I'm not being a homer in this instance. His hand grazes the defender, the receiver, doesn't do anything at all, just kind of grazes. He leaps out, knocks it down. That flag was out so fast. And if anything, when you look at the replay, the pass interference honestly could have been at the offense. And instead, they call it on the defense. First down. What ends up happening? Touchdown Bills.
Of course. And you were saying in the text messages, you were like, this game is rigged. Now, I know you had some drinks flowed through you and you were at a Pats bar.
Not too many. I had 2 Guinness. I love a Guinness, but it is not strong, and I had 2 of them.
Oh, okay. Ugh. So you kept it relatively clean, but yeah, I could definitely tell how upset you were. But I mean, did you think the refs were in on it? Do you think they had to be for something like that?
It felt like that, and you want to know why? Like I feel justified. Mike Vrabel later on talked about it, and the way he worded it is, and he was smart about this. he used the same words pretty much I just used. He said the lack of consistency. Either you're going to let both teams play, which is the message you sent when that Bills defender mauled the receiver and then got the pick, or you're going to throw flags for everything. Instead, in the second half, you were throwing flags for everything the Patriots did. A couple of those flags were on them. But a couple of them were real ticky-tack, and there was an example of the Bills doing the same thing or worse with no flag. You got to be consistent. You really have to be. And it's just, again, the NFL and the NBA, like, the officiating is always the story. Every once in a while in baseball, the officiating becomes the story. I mean, when they play 162 games plus playoffs, that's going to happen. That's a lot of games. But the MLB is taking steps to fix that with ball and strikes, challengeable, all that sort of stuff. Hockey, when's the last time you heard of the refs like genuinely ruining something?
It's a hard game to rig. The only thing I could think of is if you just create a power play that gets a team back into it over and over and over again, you know?
It so rarely happens. The biggest instance I can think of is actually probably a young Nick Beanie happy thought. Brett Hull's skate.
Yeah.
That Brett Hull goal for the Stars to win the cup over the Buffalo Sabres. And even that one is like, yes, but like this day and age, that wouldn't have stood because it would have been a challenge. But the NF and NBA is just the NBA. We all are pretty sure is rigged and has been rigged in the past. Donahue, whatever. Donahue proved it. He went to jail for it. But the NFL is gross. It's just gross.
And if you think about it, it's the hardest sports, I think, to officiate, just because when you talk about pass interference, clearly you're allowed to touch the wide receiver. You're allowed to get a handsy with them. And same with the NBA, you could kind of get away with touching for certain circumstances, and other circumstances you can't. But I think they just need to make the rules black and white. Like we keep saying it every time there's a pass interference call. Handsy clearly is not pass interference. So why don't we just have that in the rule book that's okay. They're allowed to get handsy with it. And this,
but New England wasn't this week. New England wasn't. Buffalo was. That's the thing. Be consistent. My biggest thought, the way to fix pass interference, it's challengeable, but the refs on the field aren't allowed to be the ones to review it. It's got to go to New York.
You hope so, because whatever they did before with it, they almost had it just to prove a point. It was the worst when they had pass interference being able to be challenged. I think that was 4 years ago, and then they were just going with whatever the refs were going with. So you're right. The way to combat that,
the refs got pissy and took it out on the league. Which again, fire them, bring in different refs, train them. Like, come on. Yeah. The refs don't really have any accountability right now, and it's depressing. It's amusing when it's not your team. It's infuriating when it is. Now, that being said, we'll pivot away from the refs, because the refs aren't the reason why the Patriots lost this game. The refs allowed it to be close enough. The refs allowed it. The Patriots allowed it to get close enough for the refs to have a hand in the game, but it shouldn't have. That kick coverage in the second half was disgusting. The Bills had half a field. You give Josh Allen half a field over and over again, guess what? He's going to put up points, especially then when he knows how he can, and he's a veteran. He's wily. He's crafty. He's going to be able to do it. You do whatever the calls you did on defense. And it's just like, who is currently calling plays on defense? Current Patriots defensive play caller. Is it Vrabel? Let's see. All right. So, no, it's not. It is Zach Kerr, who is the Patriots inside linebackers coach. He's the one who's been calling the plays ever since Terrell Williams had to step away for health reasons starting in week 2. All right. So, and I'd like to think Vrabel has veto power, but Vrabel also is he's got a lot going on. So he's
Now,
trusting his guy. But
it's on Vrabel. It's on
by
Vrabel.
the end of the third quarter, they should have pivoted from what they did in the second half, and they didn't. They like doubled down on it, and it was so bad.
Yeah, you just go up to the
but
guy and say, "Hey, stop doing shell coverage. Stop it. Like it's not working right now. This is not the best time for it."
Yeah.
So it always falls on the head coach at the end of the day. They're the ones that are supposed to make the adjustments, and you could call whatever you want. Stop calling shell. Just stop.
Yeah.
It.
And ultimately, as I've said about this team, is this a super veteran laden team that's playoff hardened and battle tested?
Mm-hmm.
No, they're not. So these are the games that they have to learn how to win these games. So a game like this could go two ways. They could stroll into Baltimore next week and get stomped on live TV. Or they could buckle down, listen to their coaches, get pissed, and come out and show that they deserve win number 12 and lock up the playoffs and take the driver's seat in the division. And honestly, they are scheduled, no schedule, doesn't matter. They are a better team than the Ravens. They just
Bills.
are. And they are a better team than the Bills. But you know what? It's also really hard to beat a team 3 times in a season in the NFL. And there is a very strong chance that these two teams are going to meet again for a third time this season.
Yeah, and maybe the refs won't be on the Bills' side this time.
Yeah. But there's a lot of good things to take from this game, Nick. And we'll go over some of the stats real quick. I know I am going, oh my goodness, Rob is going along on the Patriots. I try to be efficient with them, but this game was huge. And you know what? And we, New England fans, especially those with ties to Southern New England, we needed this game, not necessarily to win or to lose, but we needed it to be a good game, an exciting game. Southern New England had some rough news the day before, just barely 24 hours before. So to be able to, with everything that went down at Brown, so to be able to be distracted for 3 hours and enjoy a football game, a quality football game with two very good teams, that was important. And that's one of those things where you're happy when you're a sports fan, because sports is something that can channel your energy for a little bit. And this game certainly did for a lot of us. I know that for sure. But when you look at the stats, besides the scoreboard, if you don't look at the score, you look at all the other stats, the wrong team won the game. All right.
Yeah.
Drake May, per usual, he didn't wow you with the stats. He didn't have a passing touchdown this week, so he's still second in the odds for the MVP, but I think he took a hit this week. 14 for 23 with 155 and that one interception. I personally am not counting that interception because I think that's a BS interception. That should have been pass interference. It should have been Pat's in field goal range, ready to score the touchdown to ice the game. And instead the ref said no. And then he took 3 sacks. Also, but then you look at Travion Henderson, the comments all season. Yeah. He's got skills. He's explosive, but where are the yards? Where's this? Where's that? Well, 14 carries for 148 yards and 2 touchdowns. How do y'all like that for yards? And even that, he became the lead back there for this week. And Ramondre Stevenson also had a great game, 6 for 50. That's an 8.3 clip, y'all. That's awesome. The passing game, this is where, in the first half, things were happening. And then just the second half, almost nothing happened on offense at all. Matt Collins led the way, 4 for 41. Kayshon Boutte had 1 for 30. It was a pretty great catch, but that was it. And then from there, it was just dink and dunk passing because they really couldn't get anything else deep besides that one to Boutte. And then Hunter Henry had a very uncharacteristic drop that also cost them at one point, which was pretty rough. And then there was a couple fumbles as well with one recovered, one lost. So it was a struggle. But you look on the defensive side, look at what it's okay. So what did Magic Man Josh Allen do? He had 3 touchdowns in the second half. It was, and we knew they were coming, and we knew it was going to come. I knew the game was going to get tight. The people I was sitting with, I was chatting with, I was like, yeah, this game's going to tighten up. I didn't think it was going to go the way it went, but I knew it would tighten up. But he was 19 of 28, only for 193 yards. He took 2 sacks. And in the first half, they were all over him. He couldn't really do much. And then the second half, they laid off him, and that cost him the game. James Cook, 22 for 107. So, yeah, the 107 is nice. Those 2 touchdowns are good, but only 4.9 a carry. So they were making him work for it. Allen also had to rush 11 times. Very few of those were designed rushes. And then receiving, Shakir was the lead receiver, 5 for 65. I mean, you look at all these stats, and one, you say, how in the world did the score? You look at those stats, you think, okay, well, 18-15, maybe 21-17, 35-31. It was like, okay, because special teams struggled for both teams at different sections of it, and there were short fields. This is a game the Patriots can learn from. They should learn from. Remember preseason, we'd be ecstatic with a split in Buffalo. We'd be ecstatic with leading the division. So we do still lead the division. We'd be ecstatic with leading the division this late in the year, with having 11 wins, with virtually being a playoff lock. So they're going to have some bumps and bruises. We want them to learn from this and move forward. And we're going to see what kind of team this is and what kind of resolve they have next week against Baltimore, a Baltimore team that now, after the Jets did not help out Baltimore, shocker, has to do a lot of work to make the playoffs themselves. So this is a de facto. The playoffs have started for the New England Patriots, and the first real test is next week.
Buffalo's got a tough opponent next week too, though, don't they?
Buffalo has. Let me confirm who Buffalo has next week. Bills. Click on that Bill logo. They have the Browns in Cleveland.
Ooh, okay, maybe that's
so Buffalo's
Miles Garrett.
So Buffalo's 3 remaining games. They're at Cleveland, but then following that, we have a potential Super Bowl preview. The Eagles travel to Buffalo. That's huge. I will be big Fly Eagles Fly that week, and then they finish against the Jets. And then depending on, whether they can still win the division or not, they may or may not be resting their starters. Good chance if somehow New England has held serve and they've wrapped up the division, at that point you see Buffalo resting their starters. And then the Jets maybe get a meaningless win. For New England, we might as well look at how their schedule finishes up real quick. Patriots. Their schedule finishes up with. So we talked about, we got the Ravens. So this is going to be a tough schedule for them. We got the Ravens in a huge game. Then they go at the New York Jets. The Jets are still probably going to play them tough. All right. And then at the Dolphins, which could go either way. Either Mike McDaniel is fighting to still show I think he's done enough to keep his job. But I mean, they could be against Tua, or they could be against Quinn Ewers by that point. Who knows? So should the Pats win out? Sure. Could they somehow stumble to 0-3 and you're like, oh my goodness, they just went 11-6, and now they're the 7 seed going to Buffalo to kick off the playoffs? Yeah, that could happen.
So you said you went to a Patriots bar and you said you were going to break down how was that experience? What was that like?
Yeah, for sure.
Hard to find in Austin.
You would think that living in Austin for as long as I have, and I've been back here full time since 2016, was here for a while before that. You'd think I would know that this existed, but I didn't. There's the Austin Patriots fan club, and they meet at B.D. Riley's over in the Mueller neighborhood. And it is a fantastic atmosphere. I got there a little late, so I had to listen to the start of the game as I was driving in, which was fine. But So I ended up standing for most of the first quarter, luckily inside because I didn't bring enough layers to be outside for the whole game. And then I was able to, there was a table that just had one guy at it. And I was like, hey, is anyone else sitting with you? He goes, my friends aren't making it. So he invited me to sit down. I chatted with him for a bit. But what an atmosphere. They've got obviously the sounds on, which is wonderful. $2 off Guinness during Patriots games, even better. Food's not bad. And then also they have probably, I'm assuming it's the president of the Patriots fan club set up. He's got a full, like, essentially DJ setup, and he's got a mic. So he's calling things out. They're playing the foghorn on key third downs. They're playing all the music at different points you would hear in the stadium. And the place is just loud and filled with, like, there was a Curtis Martin jersey. There was plenty of Bledsoe jerseys. There was, and obviously Brady jerseys, Gronk jerseys, etc. So, packed with Pats fans. Austin is a transient town, so that makes sense. It was a wonderful time, and honestly, I plan on probably dragging you to one of those games this season before the season wraps, just to enjoy the experience because it was pretty good.
You had me at $2 off Guinness. I would love that. That sounds like a lot of fun, and I like being around a good atmosphere with a bunch of home.
Yeah. I had to find a place because you would think Pats versus Bills, for either the Pats to win the division or the Bills to essentially say, hey, we're not done yet. You would think that, one, they would flex that game over the game you attended, Cowboys Vikings, as far as the stakes go. They didn't. But then, two, okay, fine. Maybe CBS will put it on the national window. No, they kept it just regional. And so if I wanted to watch at home, because I do not pay for Sunday ticket, because wow, that's expensive. If I just wanted to watch at home, I'd be stuck watching the Kansas City Chokes play. And I didn't want to do that. And I didn't want a crucial game. I wasn't just going to listen on the radio the whole time. So I wanted to go down and watch it. So I found a place, great place, and I'll be back for sure.
Sweet. Yeah, I'd love to join you on one of those adventures, especially if they make a playoff run. So that should be a lot of fun for that. But sounds like an overall good time. Much better experience at the end of the day than my experience at the game, which I'll get into with the Cowboys. But overall, good experience. You guys, nothing to panic about. I think you got the right attitude towards it because, like you said, this is all yours to lock up real shortly.
Yeah, we've got everything to play for still. And I still, if this team wins the Super Bowl, will I be ecstatic? Sure. Of course I will. But they're ahead of schedule. So they're learning, they're growing, and we're excited. And with the way Drake May's been playing, free agents are going to want to come play for Mike Vrabel and come play with Drake May. So I'm excited.
Yeah. It'll be good, and I think it's going to be a fun way to close the season, but the Patriots are definitely in good shape. Now, Rob, we can get into the touchy subject, and that is the Philadelphia Eagles, not necessarily the game, but we'll get into that a little later. But
fly, Eagles, fly.
Yeah, Rob's trying to win some people over because the Philadelphia Eagles ended up dominating the Las Vegas Raiders. They won 31-0. It was a shutout. Not too shocking. They were playing over at Lincoln Financial Field, so no one was expecting that Vegas offense, which has got to be one of the worst in the leagues, to do well against Jaleel Carter and the Eagles crew. And it didn't really work out for them as suspected. And even when the Cowboys were in the hunt, this is not a game that I counted on the Eagles losing. Now, your boy, Jalen Hurts, went 12 for 15, 175 yards, and 3 touchdown passes, no interceptions. So if you guys haven't kept up with our channel, Rob has been causing a little stir, at least when it comes to the Jalen Hurts front, and got a couple of comments as a result to it. In fact, I got one of them up here. This is Tony, what is that? Tomo 2 times posted. So what is, and this is in reference to Rob was saying that Jalen Hurts has got a ring. He's already earned enough. Why are we dogging him? And Tono's response was, so what is Nick Foles, a Hall of Fame contender because he has a Super Bowl MVP? Drop this S, most valuable player, my ass. You could put 20 other guys in Hurts' shoes and they do the same with that Super Bowl team or better. So, Rob, that was directed at you. Do you have a response to Tono?
Well, first I need to go cry in a corner because a keyboard warrior yelled at me for a take. How dare I have an opinion? How dare I think Jalen Hurts is still a top 10 quarterback in this league? I didn't say he was going to the Hall of Fame because he's won a Super Bowl and he's a current top 10 quarterback. That's not how it works. Or there'd be a lot of players in the Hall of Fame right now that don't deserve to be. Um, but and yeah, Nick Foles certainly is not going to the Hall of Fame. He's going to be an Eagles Hall of Fame member or Ring of Honor member, whatever they call it. And I'm pretty sure he's in the Texas High School Hall of Fame already because of his accolades down here when he was in high school. But my goodness, dude, I need everyone to take a deep breath. Just because, and this could be about my Jalen Hurts take, this could be about anything else on the internet. Just because someone says something you don't agree with does not mean you need to rip into them and yell at them and tell them that they're terrible and blah, blah, blah. You don't know what your take is. Guess what? That's the great thing about sports and about life. We're allowed to disagree with things and have reasonable conversation. Nick and I disagree on things all the time, and we have reasonable conversation, and we go back and forth on it. In our chat this morning, I was dogging him about him wanting Adolis Garcia to have a statue outside the stadium. As he's a Texas Rangers fan, of course he should want that. Without Garcia, they don't win the World Series. And then me being the lucky homer I am with all of my teams, I'm like, 1 year you get a statue. He's not even going to be in the Hall of Fame. But do I think Nick's right? Of course Nick's right for his homer take. Am I potentially right for my realistic take? Sure. That doesn't mean we can't have a conversation about it. And guess what? We didn't call each other names. We didn't swear at each other. We didn't quit the podcast over it. My goodness, people. Also, Tomo or whoever you are, I want you to name me legitimately, or any of you listening right now that don't like Jalen Hurts just because he's not perfect all the time. Guess what? Neither is Mahomes. Neither is Josh Allen. Neither is Dak Prescott. My goodness. Jerry won't let Dak play defense. We see what that does to the Cowboys when Dak's not allowed to play on defense too, right? Name me legitimately 10 quarterbacks. Hell, name me 7 or 8 quarterbacks in this league that you think right now are better than Jalen Hurts when healthy, and not necessarily, and over the next 1 to 3 years could lead the Eagles to, I guess, better. So that would mean Tomo says better. So 2 Super Bowl wins. Name them. I'm waiting. I know I can't name. I know I can't name 10. I know you can't. Nick, here's who I would take right now over Jalen Hurts, and the list is not very long. It's just not.
Okay.
When healthy, Josh Allen. When healthy, and this is not in any particular order. When healthy, Josh Allen. When healthy, Patrick Mahomes. We know he's not healthy right now, but he just underwent surgery, hopefully for the league. I do hope he is back for the start of the regular season. The league's better when Patrick Mahomes is playing, and he's driving me and all the people that love to hate him nuts and making all the people that love to love him happy. The league's better with him in it. He needs to be back soon. Let's get him back soon. So Allen, Mahomes, when healthy, Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson has not been healthy this season from what we've seen. All right, so that's 3. I personally, I would not take Jalen Hurts over Drake May right now, but that's my New England excited happiness. I think a lot of other people would take Jalen Hurts over Drake May, and that's totally fine at this stage in their careers. 4, Matthew Stafford. When healthy, sure. But also he's probably winning the MVP, but then there's a good chance he's falling off a cliff next year if he keeps playing because he's old. All right?
Yeah.
That's 5. Let's see. Who else? Caleb Williams, not yet. Bryce Young, not yet, but they're both on a trajectory where they could get there. Jared Goff, I don't think
Maybe.
so. Maybe, maybe,
Yeah.
but Jalen Hurts can do more than Jared Goff can. Let's see. Sam Darnold get a right now. Sure, this year he's doing well, but no. Baker Mayfield, no. Trevor Lawrence, no. Jackson Dart,
No, not yet.
not yet. Especially not when he's been evaluated for a concussion in half of the NFL games he's played. He's not long for the league. Shedeur Sanders, not yet.
No.
Geno Smith, no. Who am I
No,
leaving
I
out?
might be a homer. I might be
Dak
a homer,
Prescott.
but I
Dak
think Dak's
Prescott
just a
should-
better
I think-
overall quarterback.
I think if you put Dak Prescott on that Eagles team, I think they do better.
yeah,
And Dak
Joe
Prescott goes,
Burrow.
thank God I have a defense finally.
Yeah, and Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow would be
Joe Burrow when healthy. I'll go that way. Healthy and happy. He needs to be having fun too.
yeah. You'll figure it out.
Aaron Rodgers, not anymore.
No,
10 years
no.
ago, sure. 10 years ago, yeah. Now, no.
And I think you were being lenient too. You put people like Dak and Drake May and some young up and comers in the league right now ahead of Jalen Hurts.
Is there anyone else you would put on the list? Jordan Love, maybe?
No,
Not yet?
No. I like Jalen Hurts, and the fact of the matter, going into the league, his worst skill was accuracy. We all knew this going into the league. That's why he wasn't this number one overall pick, because talent wise on his running abilities, everyone knew he'd be good there. But what I like about Jalen Hurts is he's a gym rat. He works really hard, and he keeps trying to improve it each and every single year. And so Jalen Hurts kind of has the Dak Prescott career path in my head, okay? Because when Dak was first in the league, everyone talks about that 2016 game like he was a superstar quarterback. He was terrible. He was terrible at throwing an accurate pass, very similar to Jalen Hurts right now, who's struggling. But Jalen Hurts right now is better than whatever Dak was back in his rookie year. It was just infuriating to watch, just as a guy that likes the quarterback position. But Jalen Hurts is working on it. He's improving on it. He's got great arm strength, and I think it's only going to get better. He's still relatively pretty young, and it takes a while to master the position. So he's just going through a little weird phase right now, but I would take Jalen Hurts over a lot of players too, and he's a good leader as well. He seems to command the locker
Fantastic
room.
leader. Absolutely fantastic leader.
And I just think the Philadelphia Eagles market, which is the one that everyone was dogging on me for taking down Carson Wentz, and I feel like they're about to try to do the same to Jalen Hurts. I think the Philadelphia Eagles market just doesn't have patience for this, which is crazy because he won you a Super Bowl. And yeah, it wasn't statistically, he didn't do too much compared to, last year. He doesn't have flashy passing stats, but there's more than passing that goes into it. He runs the ball just fine. He's got a lot of touchdowns on his belt. He's good. He's a really, really good quarterback. And just as you said, Rob, I would put him in top 8, top 7. He's one of the best in the league. And like you said, you name them. You name the better quarterbacks, because I'm sure I'm going to look at your list, not you, but the fans. I'd look at your list and I'd go, get out of here. Get out of here with whoever you decide to put up there. So as much as I hate to say it, I'm saying this as like a Cowboy fan. I don't like the Eagles. I want them to not succeed at all. And I know what I'm watching when I see him. He's good. He's a good, solid quarterback.
Yeah, for sure. That being said, yeah, they stomped them. They stomped the Raiders. Probably not much that we really need to cover in that game overall.
No, it was a slack down, smash down. We all kind of expected that going into the game, and the Eagles did need to do it. They did have a 3-game losing streak, so just to get a get-right game, what a perfect time for the Vegas Raiders to show up in Philly's house. They took advantage of it. They got the big win, and they got the big win by a lot. So credit to the Eagles for winning that game. Outside of that, didn't really go above expectations, just simply because the Raiders are I don't know what they're doing, but the Eagles took advantage of it for sure.
Yeah, they certainly did. All right, which game's next?
I can go into the the Commanders versus Giants game. The battle of the draft picks. Who can get
And
lower?
with Jackson Dart once again taking a hit.
Yeah, he was out, right? Later in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Which is just seriously way too much. They've got to do. Did you see that John Gruden footage where he was talking about Jackson Dart not taking hits? You know, he does his little quarterback camp, and he did this whole.
Did he talk
breakdown
about him
of,
not
like,
taking?
He did. He said, "Dude, you can't do that. Not in the NFL. You cannot take hits like that." And Jackson Dart was like, "Oh, work on it." And I don't think he worked on it because he's still taking hits.
No. And it doesn't help that his partner in crime is Scatterbo either. What needs to happen is there needs to be they need and we've said this before, a Tom Coughlin style coach to come in there, reset it, make it right. Someone that they're going to listen to, someone that they have to listen to, to prolong their career. I know I've said who I think it should be, but we'll see who it'll end up being.
Yeah, and when it came to this game in particular, the Washington Commanders defeated the New York Giants 29-21. Marcus Mariota did Marcus Mariota things. He always gives up such average stat lines. It just blows my mind. 10 for 19, 211 yards, 1 touchdown, no interception this time, Rob, but just that is about as Marcus Mariota as you can get. Always 200 yards, always gets a TD, maybe 2, and usually has an interception paired with something. This week, a little different. Jackson Dart overall had a good game, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, but yes, he did get hurt in the game. And then here's a big one though. Merritt, Jakari Krosky Merritt got 96 yards, 1 touchdown in this game. They finally got their running back and they were able to use him. And he actually had a pretty big game for it. I know running back was a big topic of conversation when it comes to the Commanders for you, Rob, but it looks like
they got rid of the wrong one, but yeah. Yeah, Merritt's got a chance to he's got a chance to be good. He's got a chance to be good. But this whole team needs to get healthy and they need to find some depth. Jeez.
And he would have paired really well with Brian Thompson Jr. It's a 2-back system, right? Tyron Tracy, 70 yards, 1 touchdown, big 12-yard run, but, outside of that, the stats are pretty, lackluster. Big Terry McLaurin got another big 51-yard touchdown reception, and the Commanders go on to win this game. So, Commanders, I guess, I don't know how excited the Commander fan base is from that, but bouncing back from such a terrible, terrible game the week before, it must feel nice against the Minnesota Vikings. The week before, they got shut out. So for them to come out and do what they did, you got to give them a little credit. At least they played well. And there's a lot of weird things going on with the locker room involving the Giants. I don't think Kafka's going to keep his job at the end of the year. I don't know what they're going to hire for. I think Mike McDaniel might be their choice if they decide to fire him. Not sure. But they've got to they're just going to retool it and try to build around Jackson Dart and Scatterbo and work from there, because whatever they got going on right now, it's just not working out for the Giants. So we'll see what draft pick they'll have in the future, and Commanders are going to finish probably a little above them, so they won't get as nice of a draft pick.
Yeah, I mean, the Giants should, at this point, I think they have far and away have the inside track on the number 1 draft pick. If they don't get it, it's going to be real sad.
It's going to be pretty sad. Although the Vegas Raiders are putting up a good fight. I don't know how they're going to win a game at this point because they do not look good out there.
No, and I think sometime in the next couple weeks, we're going to start listing our top 3 and 4 reasonable candidates to take over. There's going to be a lot of fun stuff to talk about. So, yeah, that was
Good.
that game.
Yeah, I mean, we're supposed to follow the NFC East and AFC East coverage, but we're getting to that time of year where following anything involving the Commanders or Giants is really rough, and now the Cowboys too. So, but we're gonna do what we can to get some material out of it. So that's the game that ended up happening. Commanders ended up getting the big win. But
oh yeah. So then our next game, do we want to dive into which one? Steelers Dolphins or Jags Jets?
let's go Jags Jets. That keeps the order going, and then the Cowboys are after that.
Perfect. Well, no, oh, yeah, that's right, because Steelers was Monday Night Football. Oh my goodness, it's Tuesday.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
Jags versus Jets. This Jacksonville Jaguars team, apparently, they just needed to find the right head coach because they've got him now, as far as we can see, in Liam Cohen, Pride of LaSalle Academy, Providence, Rhode Island. All right. He's got Trevor Lawrence firing on all cylinders. Travis Etienne. I thought he was on his way out of the league last year. Now he looks like he's talking himself into an extension. Showing. Yeah.
Oh, I was
Go
saying
ahead.
he's on his way to get me to the semifinals right now, Rob, because I got him on our league that we're in, and him and your boy Henderson saved me that week. So big fan of ETN's comeback. This is great.
Yeah. Now, Etienne did not have a good game this week. He was only 12 for 32 rushing as far as rushing goes. If you want to know where he did have a good game, he is not a one-dimensional running back. He is a two-dimensional offensive weapon. He had 3 receptions for 73 yards and 3 touchdowns, one of which was a 45-yarder. Total of 4 targets made it happen. Jacoby Myers, 5 for 71. Myers was a key pickup, and I bet you he signs and stays there for a while. Brian Thomas Jr., 4 for 66 for the other touchdown. Bashal Tutton had a touchdown as well, a 16-yard reception, as did LaQuint Allen Jr., because it was just a dominant day. Trevor Lawrence accounted for 5 touchdowns, 20 of 32, 330 yards, 5 touchdowns, no picks, no sacks. Well, it seems like a certain key part of that defense is no longer in New York, and that's affecting the pass rush. And a QBR rating for Trevor Lawrence of 95.9. Meanwhile, Toothless New York started a rookie in Brady Cook. Wow, we had Brady Cook and Phillip Rivers starting games in the NFL this season, but Jordan Tiamu can't get a look. Bryce Perkins can't get a look. That's just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. 3 interceptions and 1 touchdown for Brady Cook, 176 yards, a 46.1 QBR. So, yeah, you could pretty much double that QBR for Brady Cook, and he's still behind what Trevor Lawrence did. Breece Hall could get nothing going at all, rushing at all, but he did get 2 receptions. Adonai Mitchell, he did pull in 6 receptions and a touchdown. Getting away from Indy and getting out of that doghouse has been huge for him. New York next year, you make him the number 2 receiver, and there's a potent 1-2 combo just waiting for a functional quarterback, whether it's a rookie, whether it's some sort of veteran. I don't know. I don't think the current Jets quarterback is on the Jets roster right now. Is it a Shedeur Sanders? Is it Dylan Gabriel? Let's hope it's not Geno Smith, because I think he's played himself out of the league this year. But there's options.
Yeah. They
Tua.
Yeah, it could be Tua. You never know. I mean, I don't know
not for
Well,
that contract.
they could absorb the contract. They're actually one of the few teams that it wouldn't affect them that much because their salary cap is just so empty right now. I would just maybe draft just stick to a veteran. Jets, just stick to a veteran and
And then so stick to a veteran, and then don't trade up for him. Don't waste, because you have so many holes. Jets, don't waste your assets trading up for Fernando Mendoza. He's had an unbelievable year this year. He is a hard worker. He was barely recruited. He's shown what hard work can do. If he falls to you at pick 4 or whatever, perfect. Take him. If he doesn't, get a quarterback in the second round. Because guess what?
Yeah.
Arch Manning's not coming out yet. You got another year to wait for Arch. Exactly.
And you could have a much better built team for Arch Manning too, and that's going to be their game plan, right? That's what I would recommend.
Oh, I think if Arch keeps his trajectory up, there's going to be Arch Manning might cause the NFL to think about instituting a lottery system amongst the teams at the bottom with some of the actions we will see next year if he fulfills what he was supposed to do, what the media thought he might do because of his last name this year. If he gets even close to that next year, it's going to be a frenzy.
Yeah. He's going to be picked up pretty quickly for sure. But Jets, hang tight. I think your future is ahead of you. You just got to stay positive because a lot of good things are coming your way as long as your general manager doesn't botch this, But you got all the draft capital. You've got plenty of what is it, salary cap space as well. So you're in good shape. You're in good shape, Jets.
Yeah.
Just take advantage of it and try to get your future brighter.
We certainly are, for sure, for the Jets. Now, Nick, I know technically in calendar order, Cowboys are next, but there's not a ton for us to talk about for Steelers Dolphins. We want to hit that and then turn the floor to you for the Cowboys.
Yeah, we could do that. Especially with my shaky internet. It keeps going in and out.
I haven't noticed it, so that's good. So the bubble popped on the Dolphins. They are not going to be a playoff team. Aaron Rodgers and his merry cast of cast-offs went ahead and got the victory. It was just two teams that are similar in ability, clashed against each other. And the better quarterback won. Aaron Rodgers, 23 of 27 for 224 and 2 touchdowns. He did take 3 sacks. It's amazing. 23 for 27, 224 yards and 2 touchdowns. But because he took those 3 sacks, his QBR was 58.8. I got to at some point this offseason, I got to dive into exactly how the QBR breakdown works. So that's crazy. But his QBR was fantastic compared to Tua's, who was 22 of 28 for 253, 2 touchdowns and a pick, and he took 4 sacks. And so his QBR was 12.2. But
jeez.
The Miami, so I got to look. So QBR really penalizes a quarterback for sacks and for picks. So this team has proven the last few weeks that they will go as far as Devin Achane will take them. The Steelers are a veteran, tough defense. I don't think let me look real quick. I don't think they had TJ Watt. No, they did not. So TJ Watt didn't play this week. Well, he wasn't on the stat sheet. Let me make sure he actually didn't play. TJ Watt news. Okay, he was out. Him and Tyrod Taylor are part of a very not fun club. He was getting a dry needling technique done on him at the Steelers facility, and the person doing the technique messed up and punctured his lung. So he had to, have an operation, get that fixed up. Hopefully he will be back soon. They should not rush him back because, your lung's important. So don't rush him back. But hopefully if the Steelers can, it's funny, Steelers fans are going to be really rooting for the Patriots this next week. they can pretty much wrap that division up, and then he can stay healthy for the playoffs. But the Dolphins themselves, A-Chain only 6 for 67, no touchdowns. 6 for 67 receiving, so that was pretty good. But his rushing was 12 for 60 with no touchdowns. So not a lot going on the running side. He was able to make things happen in the dink and dunk offense of Tua. Darren Waller had 7 for 66. Yeah, I think this team, this Miami Dolphins team, again, they're close. I think they've got the right head coach. I do not think they've lost the locker room. Again, Giants, if they do something dumb, jump on McDaniels if he wants that job. They're a quarterback away, and I think there's a little bit of cultural buy-in away. And with the right quarterback, it'll go there. We've seen all the Tua press conferences. Either he's just completely dumb or unbelievably aloof, or he really doesn't like his head coach and thinks he's more important than his head coach. And I know Brian Flores might have something to say about how Tua treats his head coaches. So I think you get a right quarterback in there, things will happen. Dan Orlovsky was calling today. He goes, you know what? The Dolphins aren't going anywhere. They're not making the playoffs. Starting Tua the rest of the way does you nothing. Starting Zach Wilson the rest of the way does you nothing. They are known commodities. He's calling for Quinn Ewers to jump in that driver's seat so the Dolphins can see what they have in Quinn. And I think that is a really smart idea because you can go either, okay, you drafted him in the 7th round for a reason. All right, he's not there yet. He proved it. Or he can start putting some highlights on tape. He can start moving the ball. As a Longhorns fan, if he's healthy, let me tell you, he can do all of that. And he can run too. And then you have options.
Mm-hmm.
You could trade him to a desperate team like the Jets or the Raiders. You could trade him to a desperate team, sell way high. Because again, 7th round pick. So if all of a sudden you can get a 3rd or 4th round pick for him because he balls out the last 3 weeks, or maybe even a 2nd round pick, ooh, that's a big win. Or unload Tua somehow. The Browns love to take terrible contracts. Call the Browns up. And then
they can't afford it. I know they can't. They can't take it. They're out.
No. Yeah. But there's options, I think, and it just helps you diversify your assets. Because right now, Quinn Ewers' value is probably the same as if he jumps in and stinks up the place. No one's going to trade a lot for him without that tape. But if he goes in and works some magic, that could be a huge value for the Dolphins, depending on what they want to do with it.
I really like the idea of starting Quinn Ewers because whenever Quinn Ewers starts, it's going to be a struggle in the beginning of it because he just took a long time to develop in college. And I imagine I'm going to expect the same thing in the NFL. So the quicker you get him out there, the quicker you get a better feel for the game, the better it is going to be for Quinn Ewers. This is a great opportunity. Let's start him. Let's, get the starting off with no pressure, just get a feel for the game. Because the quicker you do that, the quicker you might have the Quinn Ewers that I actually expect him to be in the NFL, a very solid quarterback that could possibly be a top 10 later in the league. He's got the arm strength. You just mentioned the feet. He's really fat. He relatively can run. And he's got good pocket presence when he learns the game. So I'd get him in there as quick as possible.
And they play the Bengals this week. That is a great chance to get him in there. And see what happens because the 2 weeks after that are the Bucks and the who are playing for everything, and the Patriots who are playing for everything. So
get him a nice, easy defense to tee off on, right?
Exactly. So we've covered all things AFC East. Remember, Pats fans, we still love Amy Adams Strunk. We still have everything to play for. Take a deep breath. We got this. But how about them Cowboys?
Not much, Rob. Not much. Now, like I said earlier in the show, and we talked about on the previous show, I did end up going to this game, the Minnesota Vikings at the Dallas Cowboys, which ended up losing such a disappointing game, 34-26 on Sunday Night Football, that they decided not to flex out for your much more entertaining game, I would say. Overall experience, I liked it. I've been to the Cowboys Stadium before. I've got my little problems. One thing about Cowboy fans that they get a bad stigma out there is that, we're rude or rambunctious or anything like that. But if you ever go to a Cowboys game, you find out that Cowboy fans are actually pretty chill. They're very polite to the opposing teams because we have to deal with it every week at Cowboys Stadium. Everyone
Well,
has
you
to
also
visit.
you can't be too loud in the museum, right?
I didn't. We were exchanging texts on that because I did. I was like, you know what? We're here early. We were there an hour early in the stadium. And I was like, yeah, I want to check out Gene Jones's art. Apparently, Rob, a certain class gets to check out the art. We did not meet that certain class with $25 standing room only tickets. So
You're not rich
we didn't make
enough.
the cut. We couldn't even see it.
But this was art for friends of
Not
the
rich
pods,
enough,
Patrick.
which
Yeah. You went with friends of the pod, Patrick and Steph, and this was their first time at a Cowboys game in Jerry World, right?
yeah, and I think they overall enjoyed the experience. They did not like the standing room, and when I was younger, I used to love it, but I will have to admit, I'm getting older now, and I just would rather sit down at a seat at some point, And the other thing I don't like about this breaks my heart because I love the Cowboys and I love Cowboy fans, but at our stadium, it's okay to cheer as loud as possible to cause disruption on third down. It's okay, guys. You can do it. Feel comfortable to do it, okay? Because they didn't do it. The intercom would go up, they'd say, get loud, and they would get loud, Rob. As soon as the intercom went away, you could hear crickets. Well, meanwhile, they're still calling the plays and getting whatever they want out there because we're just not allowed to affect the play.
Is part of it that y'all are just so shell shocked that you need more nice things to happen?
I think it's just more to do with, well, one, that game, I could just get the air, the feeling in the stadium. Not many people were treating that like it was a super, super important game. So I've been to a Cowboys-Eagles game at that stadium. It's rocking. It will rock. So I think we just took on the Minnesota Vikings thinking, hey, we got home field advantage. We're going to win this game. Well, part of home field advantage is giving your team the advantage. And the Minnesota Vikings did a much better job on that. Yeah. And it was really frustrating.
So before you dive into the game breakdown, you got there early. What's that? Just like same questions we asked Justin a few weeks ago when he was on after the Tampa Bay New England game. What's that tailgate scene like? Is parking reasonable? Can you bring your own beers? Are people having a good time? Does everyone go and spend too much money at Texas Live? How does it work?
So I think this has a big part to do with Texas Live itself, the tailgating scene. And I remember it used to be pretty fun for the Cowboys. And there is another section of the stadium we didn't go to in the parking lot. It was on the other side. So I didn't see that part. So I'll keep it very fair. But the part that we saw, 3 tailgates. Just 3. Like 3 people camping out.
And how early before the game was this when you got there?
This is about an hour before the game. You should be out there. There should be a lot out there. Now, on the flip side of that, Texas Live, popping like way too much. In fact, it was very uncomfortable. It was when I went there as for a Rangers game, it was pretty free flowing. There was no issues with Texas Live. And I was like, oh yeah, this place is kind of cool. And I like to show people, hey, this is Texas Live. Yes, the beers are expensive, but it's kind of a fun atmosphere and it's going to be enjoyable.
Yeah. What do they charge for a beer?
$18. Now, that's not the worst part though. You think $18.
It's like a 24 ouncer at least though, right?
Yeah, they're 24 ounces, and we know Jerry's going to stick you. We already know that going into it. So that part, I just immediately expect high-priced beer going into the game. The part that frustrated me was the $10 cover to get into Texas Live.
Okay, so pause.
Yeah.
You're telling me all these people paid $10 just to walk in,
mm-hmm.
and then bought probably multiple $18 beers, when instead the parking's not too. You're already paying the parking no matter what.
45. I paid
And
45, and
40
I was about a mile
45.
from the stadium.
Yeah, a mile from the stadium. Not it's definitely more expensive than it is for a Rangers game. I think when I was there for a Rangers game this last season, it was like $20.
Mhm.
But you're telling me, so like if that was me, and obviously I my schedule was what it well mainly I wasn't not going to watch this Pats Bills game. That was my priority for the weekend. That's why I didn't join y'all. But I would have been like, all right, we're throwing a case of beer in a cooler. We're grabbing a camp stove. We're grabbing some sausages and some rolls and some chips, and we're hanging in the parking lot for significantly less. And then we're rolling into the stadium.
Yeah, and there wasn't that much of a crowd out there. I don't know what it is.
It
Maybe it's
it
'cause
was Texas cold.
it was very cold actually. 'Cause
Texas
we went up
cold. New England fans, Texas cold. It was like 45, 40.
sunny
Texas
too,
cold. That's a lot for us Texans.
and sunny. So it wasn't like even
Yeah.
like a cold, rainy 43 degrees. It was a chill, crisp 43 degrees. But you
Yeah.
know, I'm saying all this. I know I'm complaining a lot. I just there was a couple weird things that I saw out there that kind of frustrated me. It's very corporatized. I know that's the Cowboys, so that doesn't really upset me too much. I just get what is part of the drill there. Overall fun experience. I did have fun, and
Good.
that's good because shelling out all that money. Yeah, I was hoping to at least get a winning football team, but I did not, Rob, because
You did.
the Cowboys blew it, and they blew it big time, 34-26. Couple disappointing stats to go out there. We're about to get into the defense, but Brandon Aubrey missed 2 field goals, a 59-yarder and a 51-yarder. He's human. He is not right. Very shameful, but he did have one.
Are those his only misses all year?
I believe he has another one miss from 50 yards. He had a fluky miss, but
he's due. He was due.
Yeah, and from 59 yards, you're expecting your best kickers to bare minimum be 60%. Well, he was well overdue to miss that. Brandon Aubrey after the game even commented, he goes, yeah, performances like that happen. He was very disappointed it was at home. And he was like,
yeah, because if he was outdoors, at least he'd have an excuse.
Yeah, and he thinks he's got a big advantage when he plays over at Dallas because it's indoors and he just knows the field and takes advantage of it. Some quick stats to go over. Dak Prescott had to throw it a lot because they fell behind in the game. Did not throw for 1 touchdown, but 23 for 38, 294 yards. He was able to drive it all game long. Can't really put this too much on Dak. It's just, he did what he could against a very, very tough Brian Flores defense and got the most out of it. The part that is scary is that J.J. McCarthy went 15 for 24, 250 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception, passer rating of 108.3, and a rushing touchdown while doing the, what is it? I can't do it. I can't think of it right now. What is it? What does Justin Jefferson do in the end zone? The gritty.
I don't know.
The gritty.
The gritty. Well, I mean, are you surprised? We had J.J. McCarthy on that list earlier when we talked to. Oh no, we didn't. What's up with the?
We did not. And this is the fourth quarter. This is the fourth quarterback that had the most passing yards against us, the Dallas Cowboys. One of them being Russell Wilson.
Yeah, that
had
Russell
a terrible
Wilson
year
one
by the end
did.
of it.
That Russell Wilson one did not age well because he will not be in the NFL next year unless the Jets or the Raiders are dumb. And if Pete Carroll's still in Las Vegas, he's not going to the Raiders.
No, and I don't think Pete Carroll wants anything to do with him either. So, but yeah, J.J. McCarthy.
He cut bait at the right time.
I think. Yeah, the other one is Jordan Love, Caleb Williams, and there's one legitimate one. Oh, Denver Broncos. I think, Bo Nix ended up getting his career or highest amount of yards against the Cowboys over there. So 4 quarterbacks, 2 quarterbacks, it's their second highest. So there you go. 6 quarterbacks of all the games that we played can tear it up on our defense. Which brings me to Brian.
Are you making
Eberflus.
a list?
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, Eberflus, are you making a list for your 3 or 4 people you want to see take over? He's got to go.
I've got the game plan. He's definitely got to go because I did a little breakdown on Pro Football Focus, just analyzing how much talent we have on our defense, okay? And we actually grade really well at defensive line. We're one of the best. And I decided to compare it against a defense.
Good.
Yeah. In fact, Rob, number 1 in Pro Football Focus. They say we have the best defensive line in the league. Quinnen Williams was rated 95. I mean, he's one of the highest defensive tackles there is in the NFL right now. Ezraku, our second-year defensive end, scored above 80. Dante Fowler Jr. is also scoring above 80, and then the rest were all 75 and above on Pro Football Focus's grade. So by far, right now, the best defensive line in the NFL. So as a coordinator, you think you should be able to benefit from that.
Are they all scheduled to come back next year?
Even if they don't, Dante Fowler is a veteran player. So if we cut him out and bring him in, if you're paired well with Quinnen Williams and Kenny Clark, I think it doesn't really matter. And Ezraku, who's coming back next year because he's still on his rookie contract. So it's big that he's out there. And then you got Odigizua, who's your backup, who's a phenomenal backup defensive tackle now. They're in good shape. Now, the secondary. Deron Bland was graded 72 last year. He has dropped to 66, okay? So that's a big
drop.
Donovan Wilson, he was graded 66, 67, somewhere around that in 2024. He has dropped to 55. Okay.
That's like Malik not starter level.
He went from one of my favorite players to the league to now one of the worst. And I decided to compare our Pro Football Focus grades just on raw talent to a comparable team. And I decided on the Chargers because they only have 2 players that have a Pro Football Focus grade above 80. That's Khalil Mack and Derwin James. That's it. Everyone else is 70 and below. Everyone else is 70 and below. But you know what they do, Rob? They scheme well. They scheme much better than the Dallas Cowboys, and they can play up to their level. They get the most out of their talent. So credit to Jesse Minter.
They have one of the best defensive coordinators in the league, if not the best.
Yeah, Jesse Minter came in from Michigan with the Harbaugh pickup, and he's doing a phenomenal job with the little amount of talent that he has out there. And that is an older Khalil Mack. It's not like the old one or the young Khalil Mack that can just murder it out there. So Eberflus has got to go. Eberflus clearly has got to go because his scheme is stuck in 2018 or 15 when the Sean McVay years started taking off. Remember back then, there was the Rams and the Kansas City Chiefs played a game and the score was 52-49. And they said, defenses are dead. This is the new era of football. Well, the answer to that was a shell defense, soft zone, and then get a lot of pressure from the defensive tackles. Eberflus went with that, and those offenses started getting stopped, and he never evolved past that. He never evolved past the adjustments that those offenses started figuring out how to beat it. It's easy. Mesh routes, cross routes, confuse the defense out there, flush a zone, do all these strategies that can end up conquering your defense. And Eberflus has just not learned, hey, man-to-man is the way to go. Another thing, trust your players' instincts. They're the boots on the ground, okay? So if a player gets a read or does something in man-to-man, you don't want them thinking too much. You just want them to play defense. So, and play against their guy up ahead of them. So, there is reports already coming out. Oh, that print is so small. And one of them came from the Cowboys network. Owner Jerry Jones Says he's been very, very pleased with Dallas's offense this season, but says the defense has played at a level that he did not expect. Jerry Jones, while talking about the DC Matt Eberflus, he believes that coaches should adapt their scheme to the players. Jones doesn't think their talent is the issue. And I'm completely with him. So
Jerry Jones listens to the Nick and Rob Homer Hour.
Right? But it's not just me.
You've been saying this since week 1.
Yeah, go with the army that you have, not the one that you want. And Jerry, I love it. I love it that you're starting to realize that you might have made a mistake. And I get it. This would be your 4th defensive coordinator in the last 4 years. Here's a crazy idea. Instead of going with the name, let's actually do a real interview process where you interview multiple people for the position and also get a feel from Shoddy and what his players are wanting. Because right now you already paid Deron Bland $90 million. So maybe the one person you should be listening to that's going to be there anyway is Deron Bland when it comes to the secondary. And completely change your approach. Go out there, scout, listen to your boots on the ground, and actually come up with the defense. Take an evaluation of your defense and say, what are they good at? What are they not good at? Find the scheme and stick to someone with that scheme. A lot of names out there that I hear. Rex Ryan used to coach, was Shoddy's head coach back in New York Giants, so that's going to be an interesting one. But Cowboy season clearly over. Plenty of time to.
I know Rob Ryan's been with the Cowboys, but can Rex Ryan's personality and Jerry coexist?
Well, one thing is he would be a coordinator, but I also agree with you. He's got such a big personality. You don't want him to overtake Shoddy's role, and that's what I'd be more concerned about.
I don't think he would.
I never know, man. The Ryan brothers are very flashy, very flashy. So I'd be a little nervous about that. But if Shoddy thinks he can keep him under control and establish what Shoddy wants, a good culture that ends up winning, gets wins, I'd go with it. Shoddy, to me, has impressed me overall, so I've got no problem with him as the head coach. It's just we got to do this all again with defensive coordinator and maybe listen to your head coach this time. What does Shoddy want, Jerry? What do your players want? And start evaluating it that way like a real general manager should. I hope this taught him a big lesson. It sounds like he even admitted that he's like, I might have dropped the ball here. But, man, this is a terrible season to find out when you find out you have the number 1 offense in the league. Maybe not anymore. Top 5 offense in the league, though. And you couldn't pair it with an average defense. You gave him everything that you want. Eberflus, you got what you want. You got the defensive line that you want, and you still can't figure it out. Pretty awful. Eberflus, he needs to sit down, kind of like the McCarthy, go back to the barn, Mike McCarthy way back when, and just reevaluate the game because it is flown past you, and you've got a lot of learning to do right now to catch up to the modern art of football. But that's about all I got. I mean, outside of that, some weird stats. I mean, they were, what do we got? Receiving. TJ Hawkinson definitely did a big touchdown. CeeDee Lamb got 6 receptions, 111 yards, so he led there. George Pickens didn't have that great of a game either. But what are you gonna do? What do you I just don't blame it on the offense. They were able to drive it down. Yeah, Brandon Aubrey made those 2 field goals. I don't think it would have mattered because every time you kick the ball off to Minnesota in the second half, they scored. What does it matter? What does it matter what we do here? So you're going to have frustrating games like this. We're probably going to finish the season 8-1. That's going to be my projections now. And it is what it is, man. Like the season's over. It was a weird season, very dramatic season, but I'll keep following along. It's over for me, man.
Cowboys win out, Eagles lose out.
It's the only way, Robin. I just don't see a good Eagles team doing it, and I don't see this wishy-washy Cowboys team beating the Chargers.
But according to Tomo, the Eagles got no chance. They don't have a quarterback.
They don't even have a quarterback.
They need Nick Foles to walk back through that door.
Yeah, maybe they were hoping to get Phillip Rivers, but the Colts picked him up before him, I guess. So it was a big win there.
But before we go to transition off the Cowboys, I got to ask you one more question. based on the second, normally it would have been far and away the biggest news, but injury news of the week, but Mahomes dwarfed it. We know how Jerry's reacted about injuries in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Is he going to, maybe he already has. I haven't listened to Jerry Jones in the last 2 days. Is he going to, at some point between now and like in the offseason, is he going to go on a victory lap tour because Micah Parsons got hurt?
No.
See, I told you. Because one of the things he talked about one of the reasons why he traded him is like he gets hurt. He's not always healthy.
It's if he does, that's really low class, but it is Jerry Jones.
He hated on Dak for getting hurt. Like
you might be right, because that was a big talking point, but I hope he doesn't, because I, as a Cowboys fan, am really sad for Micah Parsons, just because it was just a trade, and whatever issues we've had with him, it was nothing personal.
Right.
And I would never wish that on him. And I don't like good players getting hurt, and I just think it's pretty awful for the Green Bay Packers. And I hope Jerry's got the same mindset, but I don't know. Maybe I'm a little bit more cerebral than Jerry is. Maybe. So
yeah,
we'll see how he reacts.
I mean, I think that injury turned a potential 3-team race in the NFC into a 2-team race between if a team other than the Rams or Seahawks wins the NFC, I think we're all gonna be like, whoa, how did that happen?
Yeah, it can, or the door's wide open for the crawling Eagles to get in there. I mean,
yeah,
no
those
excuse.
veteran teams know it's not how you start, it's where and how you finish.
Yeah. But yeah, sad. Overall fun experience, but sad day for the Cowboys. Other than that, not too many stories came out, but there was a big story with the Colts. Should we go ahead and get in on that?
Yeah, we should.
All right.
What's going on with the Colts? What's going on with the Colts? What's going on with the Colts? Is it go blue? Let's ride. Or lucky shoe? Who knows? Who knows? What's going on with the Colts?
Well, Nick, as we know, it is actually for the shoe, as we have learned. Nick is getting something real quick. He's coming back, but I'll start talking. I'm gonna let Nick rest his voice a little bit after his Cowboys takes, which were spot on. They really were. Before we talk about the aura and the big storyline surrounding the game, we'll just kind of go through the stats at first. The Colts shocked the NFL world in a loss. I think everyone and their mother was throwing money at the Seahawks to easily cover because there's no way old man Rivers and this falling apart Colts team was going to even be competitive. There was a chance. You heard it here on this pod where I said, oh my goodness, is Tyler Warren or Jonathan Taylor going to be taking snaps at quarterback by the second half? We thought it was going to be bad.
Mm-hmm.
But instead, the Colts, and I think it shows you the Colts have some really good coaches. They dragged the Seahawks down and got them into a rock fight, not in Indianapolis, but in Seattle. They got them into a rock fight.
It's not easy.
Not easy. Sam Darnold did not have a great day. He had a functional day, but not a great day. 22 of 36 for 271 yards, 1 sack, no touchdowns, no picks. Rushing, the Seahawks can rush. The Colts defense came to play. The Colts defense wants to play in the postseason. They held Charbonnet to 8 for 31. His long was 8 yards. Kenneth Walker III was held to 9 for 17. That's a 1.9 per carry clip. They didn't rush the ball. Seattle couldn't run the ball. All right. Receiving, though, that was a little bit of a different story because, as we know, Sauce Gardner is out. So but they didn't give up a receiving touchdown either. Jackson Smith, Jackson SN, he went 7 for. I'm not going to try to act. I'm not going to risk accidentally mispronouncing that name in any way, shape, or form. He went 7 for 113. Exactly. We want to stay on YouTube. He went 7 for 113 with a 39-yard long. Rashid Shaheed continues to make an impact. That was a smart get by Seattle, bringing him over 5 for 74. Although shocking, the Saints have gone on a run since Shaheed left. Cooper Kupp, 5 for 46. Darnold did have a fumble, but you know what? At the end of the day, the Seahawks won the game. It was a rock fight. The Seahawks won it, and they won it because, well, Jonathan Taylor, he had to do it all, and he just couldn't. 25 for 87. That's a 3.5-yard clip. So not terrible, but not great. Receiving, though, the receiving was tough sledding. The leading receiver was Amir Abdullah, 5 for 32. Pittman had 3 for 26. Alec Pierce, who's had a breakout season, only had 1 for 16. And I think the reason why you see someone like Abdullah leading the way, I believe Abdullah is a running back, right?
He's an ex-Nebraska running back, sir.
Yeah, so he's a running back. The reason why you have someone like Abdullah leading the way is Phillip Rivers was literally on his couch at this time last week. He was not studying the playbook of the Colts. He was not at practice. He was not taking reps. He was working on his beer belly and getting a rough draft of his speech ready for the Hall of Fame, which that got punted off by 5 years. But you want to know something he just got himself back that was about to expire? His NFL health care was about to expire. It now resets, and he's going to have it for 5 more years. That's a pretty key thing when you have 10 children. So did we find out the real reason that Phillip Rivers came back? I think we may have.
Well, I don't want to be cynical about it because I like what he said in the post-game show where he said he was, coaching up his high school team, and he told them, you got to play without fear. And he said, this is a great example of how to play without fear. I haven't been in the league for 5 years. I signed up for it and I went for it. So I'm going to go with that just because I like to live in ignorance and pretend like everyone's doing things for good causes. Although 10 kids, we can agree. And
let's be real. He's re-retiring in a few weeks. He'll be back coaching high school football next year. But he averaged, if you had watched any of the post-game shows or watched ESPN, they were hailing Phillip Rivers as a conquering hero, as one of the greatest things we've ever seen. This was not straight out of Rocky. It really wasn't. He survived. I didn't think he was going to survive. I thought at the very least he was going to pull a hammy, or he was going to, because he hasn't taken hits. Yeah. He was going to get winded. He was going to break a rib, something. He held on. Now, granted, his offensive line battled. He only got sacked 1 time. So his offensive line bailed him out. But also at the same time, 18 of 27 for 120 yards, averaging 4.4 yards a reception. That, again, is why Abdullah was leading the way. You'd like to think maybe the playbook's going to open up a bit more. But, Nick, our Colts, our beloved Colts, they were once 7-1. They are now 8-6. 1 more loss and they are eliminated from the playoffs. If they lose next week, no matter what the Patriots do, if they lose next week, the Colts are out and the Pats are locked in.
It's sad to see it unfold like this. When they got Sauce Gardner, I was just high hopes that they would have one good run and then we're out. We're not going to follow them next year. That was my game plan. And I'm like, I don't know what you guys are going to do for the future. But when Danny Dimes went down, and now you're with Phillip Rivers, I mean, it's just Steichen's a really good coach. He is a really good head coach because he came in there with a pretty awesome game plan. He said, "We're outmatched. We're just going to play keep away from you, and that's all we can do." And
they almost pulled it off.
He put 8 in the box for his defense. He was like, "You could pass it on us all day long. I don't care because all I need to do is run the clock out with my offense. Pray to God I'm still close in the game, and then hopefully we're on the right side of it." So master game plan by Steichen to even put up a fight like that. Like you were stated earlier, I clearly would have taken the 13 points with Seattle, said they were easily going to cover it. And for them to even keep it by 2, you said not a Rocky story. I think it's a Rocky story. I think it's actually kind of cool. He put up a fight.
Yeah, but
it
Rocky
much,
won.
But...
was a. Well, I guess in Rocky 1 he did technically lose. Well, no, it was they double didn't it wasn't a double count out? It's a double count out. That's a tie.
No, Rocky lost. No, Rocky
Apollo
lost.
got up right at 9, right? He got up at 9 and Rocky didn't. I thought it was a double count out, and then Creed kept the title.
Now the story is can he hang in all the rounds? And he hung in all the rounds, but Apollo won the fight. And that's the uplifting story of Rocky.
But
now I think the second one was double count out.
He got sacked. Yeah, he got sacked once. So I think I want what's best for the Colts as a lifelong fan of the last 3 months. I think their season comes to a catastrophic end this week because they're going up against the Niners. It's a home game at least, but it's a Monday night game. You know the ABC and ESPN execs they're ecstatic because it's going to have massive ratings because people want to see if the Phillip Rivers storyline can continue. But the Niners are winning this game. And
if Phillip Rivers finds a way to win some games, I think you're going to get Tebow Mania 2. It's going to be Rivers Mania because if he can get him into the playoffs, that would be a big, big, big story for the NFL.
But like they can't even really capitalize on like a rush of Rivers jersey sales. Well, I guess they could if they make them real quick. But he took 17 away from Daniel Jones. So they already get a bunch of Jones jerseys with 17 on them in the team shop. And now
you just gotta tape it over, tape it over. That's what to do. Plus he played there before.
Yeah, exactly. But for a year, they're acting like he's a Colts legend returning. Yeah, he led them to the playoffs. He played there 1 year. He's not Peyton Manning for the Colts. He's not Andrew Luck for the Colts. He's not Jim Harbaugh for the Colts. Like, he played there 1 year.
Can we just enjoy Phillip Rivers, Rob? Is it that hard? Can we just enjoy it?
His press conferences are pretty good. His press conferences are pretty good.
Yeah, you could.
I will give him that. But on the plus side for Daniel Jones, surgery went well. Recovery is looking good. If everything goes well in recovery, he should be ready for the start of the regular season. He'll miss the spring program and most of the summer program, but he could be ready for the start of the regular season.
Well, I think they should bring him back on, get him on the cheap. So I think they should do it.
Yeah. I think I thought he was going to be, longtime fans, you said he was done. I thought with his injuries, he was going to be like miss next year too, or half of next year. But now they're saying the timeline has him ready to go in September. At that point, of course, bring him back with the Colts, and the Colts just save themselves a lot of money, unless the Jets or Raiders overpay. And at that point, you let Daniel Jones go, and you go find someone else.
Yeah, but kind of a sad story at the end. But we're gonna keep following along, and let's just get one victory on the way out. That's all I ask, Phillip Rivers. Probably not gonna make the playoffs, but I just want one victory from you because it is entertaining to watch this guy play, and my hat's off to him. I mean,
it's a fun story. it's a fun story.
Yeah. Speaking of future games, should we start making picks, Rob?
Yeah, it's that time.
Let's do it.
Yeah, we both went 0 for 3 last week, so we got to do something good this week.
Making picks with Nick and Rob. Nick and Rob. The pick might be a hatchet job. Less reliable than a cone on the cob, but I love hearing picks from Nick and Rob.
Yep, this last week we lived up to our theme song. Our picks were a hatchet job, but you know what? I did say if I was picking with my head, I would have picked the Bills.
It's true.
I
I
picked with my
actually
heart. I picked with my heart.
I picked with my head, and it still didn't work out for me there. So I have no excuse on why I. Well, I mean, they were the better team, Rob. They were the better team in that game.
Yeah. And, it doesn't affect the 3 games we're going to pick, but it's an exciting time in the NFL because college football is in their little doldrums. So we get Saturday NFL games,
Which is fun. I love
which
it.
is fun. And there's the Saturday night game is going to be a good one. It's Green Bay at Chicago. It's going to be it's a Green Bay and it's Chicago. It's a battle. It's for the division. Let's see if the Bears can take advantage of Micah Parsons. Philly's going to beat up on Washington earlier in the day. But yeah, but then we've got our picks. So on Sunday, the first, oh my goodness. The Dallas Cowboys are playing
on Sunday.
The Dallas Cowboys are playing on Sunday at noon. At home.
You can play on Sundays? I didn't even know, man. Sunday in the afternoon?
Well, they're playing
this.
the early window. So they're not even getting their customary 3 p.m. game. They're getting their noon Central, 1 Eastern game. And the Chargers are coming to town, and the Chargers are looking to, I think if they win, they clinch a playoff berth. They're looking to tell the Broncos, hey, we're right here. You can still fall apart on the division. I think the Chargers are going to crush them. So it's probably going to be a 3-point win for the Cowboys. Fade me as you need to, but I think the Cowboys lose this one. I still have hope. I still believe. I did say 2 weeks ago that the pod was getting 2 teams into the playoffs. It's looking very unlikely. Very unlikely. But Chargers for me.
We're not making the playoffs. So you're going with the Chargers. I looked at the spread. I was already going to pick the Chargers. I was just going to do it. But 2 things came to my head. The Cowboys are favored by 2.5 points. Don't know why. Vegas is seeing something. And 2,
the Chargers have
a
injuries.
West Coast. And the Chargers are a West Coast team playing a 12 o'clock game. Give me the Cowboys. Why not? Let's do it. We got nothing to lose. Maybe we can give Herbert a tough time. He'll throw some picks. That's the only way we're winning this game, because if he gets any time in that pocket, he will shred us into an oblivion. But we're good at stopping the run. That's Chargers bread and butter. I actually think we kind of match up well with them, and I thought I'd get off my homer train, but I'm not, Rob. I'm not. I'm going to go ahead and pick the Cowboys. Yeah.
All right, and I hope you're right, because that means if the Commanders and Marcus Mariota can upset the Eagles, there's still a chance.
Right. Still a chance. Sometimes you got to rest.
But if the Eagles win, it's
strategy.
over. If the Eagles win, it's over, right?
100%. But we're now. They say hope should never be your strategy. Well, that's all we got. Okay, NFL. So this is our strategy. It's just hope. But we'll see if we can pull it off.
Yep. All right. So then our next game is the Sunday night window. That's right. 2 of the 3 teams are in the national window this week, and it's not the Cowboys. And it is New England traveling to Baltimore. Now they will not have a playoff berth wrapped up yet because the Colts don't play till Monday, but a win can pretty much all but assure that they will make the playoffs. And they're pretty much all but assured it is as well. And then, if they can win and Cleveland can pull the upset, let's go Shooter Sanders. Let's go Browns. New England will pretty much, the division will pretty much be theirs. So a lot to play for. And we talked about it in our earlier segment. This is where we get to see what this team is made of. Are they that young team that still has a lot to learn and adversity is tough, and now they're going to drop another one to a team that needs it? The Ravens need this game a lot more than the Patriots do. They really do. And or will New England right the ship because they don't want to have to come back? New England loses this game, there's a very good chance in a few weeks they have to come back to Baltimore in the playoffs. And that historically has not gone well for the Patriots in the playoffs. So if New England's smart, these players, they're going to do their job. They're going to get ready to play, and they're going to win. I'm picking the Patriots here, but I'm scared.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of reasons to be.
Lamar showing up.
Yeah, Lamar's showing up, and that's what scares me the most.
If he's still immobile, the Pats should be able to tee off.
Yeah, that's the question. I just don't know about Lamar's injuries, but I think they're just one of those few teams that just don't match. It's just not a good matchup for the New England Patriots, just because Lamar Jackson's just like a perfect antidote to that defense if he plays healthy. When healthy. And that's the question. I don't know if he's 100% healthy. He sure doesn't look up to his MVP self, but I'm going to go Ravens. They're favored 2.5 points. It's going to be a hell of a game, I think. I'm hoping I'm wrong, honestly. I'm hoping I'm wrong, but I'm just going to pick with my head, and I just feel like the Baltimore Ravens match up well. Their defense is not that good, which is big for me because I need Henderson to run the ball really well. And your defense is pretty solid. So let's just hope Henderson goes off for 50 points and the Patriots end up winning it. But I'm going to go ahead and pick with the Baltimore Ravens just because, I just have a gut feeling that they're going to win it. Which leads us to the Colts against the 49ers. I believe, I don't know when that game's going to be. It's Monday night, right? Yeah. And Colts against the 49ers. Looking up the spread here, Rob. It's 5.5 points favoring the Niners. Do you agree with it? Do you see the Colts coming through at all? Or are you thinking this is going to be a pretty shoo-in win for the 49ers?
If the Niners lose this one, they deserve to miss the playoffs. We got two very good coaches going up against each other. This could be another rock fight for sure, but technically this defense is less talented than the Seahawks defense they just played, but I think the Niners and their coaches are smart enough. Robert Saleh is their defensive coordinator. I think they're smart enough that they can look at the tape, see where Seattle went wrong and make the corrections. And I don't know, does Phillip Rivers, is his arm going to fall off in practice trying to get reps in for a week when he hasn't done that in years? The smart money is on San Francisco to win this game and to end the season for the Colts. But who knows? I'm going to pick the Niners because they should win.
They should win, and I like Kyle Shanahan's offense. Brock Purdy looks like he's playing pretty well right now. So I'm going to go right there with you. I just think the 49ers should be able to stomp them. Now, it is playing at the Colts, so should have a factor going into it. But, yeah, I don't know. I'm rooting hard, though, for you Colts. I am. I'm picking the 49ers, but I'm rooting hard on you. I hope I don't really get along with the 49ers just being a Cowboys fan. So if you can get the win, that'd just be fun just for me. But, and the Phillip Rivers story, but I don't think they will. And the 49ers should get a pretty solid win. Get a
As
nice
a Pats
solid win.
fan, the Colts lose, Pats get the playoffs. So
Yeah, I'm
Let's
not
go
picking
Niners.
well for you guys. Oh, no, I'm picked the 49ers. So, yeah, I think that's how you're getting in this week. That's my prediction. Is the Colts are going to
Yeah.
screw it up. But that is our picks. And
Yeah.
Rob, we got a couple of announcements to make
We do.
too. So next week, we're not going to do just a regular show, right? Because we're busy with family and we're not going to be able to normal show. So we're going to fire off a couple of specials. One of them being what is it? The TriStar jersey release from Patrick Owens. And
Yeah.
that
I think
should be
that would be really fun to schedule that release for either Christmas Eve or Christmas Day because it is an unboxing. That could be a really fun Christmas Day release if we wanted to do that.
Yeah.
But stay tuned. Stay tuned.
I'm down.
But yeah. Oh, sorry,
Yeah.
but go ahead. Sorry,
am
I
able to
cut you
give
off
a
there.
quick preview because we are
Give the preview.
we do have a
two
quick
passes
preview going into the
and,
show.
12 weeks of going to David Buster's. Finally got enough for my white whale here. I get my prized possession. I finally got myself the TriStar Hidden Treasures football jerseys mystery box.
Cue fireworks sound effect.
I'm excited to
So,
see
it should be a lot of
who is
fun, and,
in that box.
Rob, you already know.
I was trying to have the
You already
magic
know
of
who's in the
YouTube.
box.
Yes, we have already.
It is a lot of fun.
We're not going to give it away. But that's going to be a really fun 15, 20-minute episode. That's a lot of fun. Our friends Patrick and Stefan join us for it, and it's going to be a good time.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. And then, Rob, what else are we gonna do?
So yeah, in place of it's going to be pre-recorded. So there is not going to be game breakdown next week because of the holidays. But of course, you're still going to get a regular pod. It's probably instead of an hour 45, it's going to be closer to an hour in length. But we're gonna switch it up a little bit. We are the Nick and Rob Homer Hour. We're gonna go to the roots of our homerism with the Patriots and with the Cowboys. Nick's gonna pick the 5 most memorable, impactful, meaningful Cowboys plays and or moments of his fandom, and I'm gonna pick the 5 from mine. I'm telling you right now, it's not just 5 Super Bowl wins for me. There's some other ones in there that are going to be pretty good, and we're gonna share the highlight. We're gonna talk about them. We're gonna talk about why they were important to us, and probably talk to each other about each play or each highlight and moment. And yeah, it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be. I've been looking forward to this episode for weeks. It's gonna be one of our best episodes. It's great for the holiday season. If you're a Pats fan or a Cowboys fan. If you're a Pats fan, there's going to be a lot of things that are going to bring a smile to your face. If you're a Cowboys fan, are we smiling? Are we angry? Are we tears? Are we going through all the emotions? What are we doing, Nick?
It's mostly going to be smiles. If you're a big Tony Romo fan, you're going to really like it because that was my heart and soul. I was a huge Tony Romo fan. Hate to break it to all the 90s fans out there, as much as I love reliving those stories or hearing things about it, my sports conscience didn't really open up until 2001. So part of this whole 30-year debacle could be my fault, just being a fan and getting into the fandom because they haven't done well since. But I did go through the Tony Romo era, and I enjoyed the Tony Romo era. So a lot of it's going to be geared towards that. Some ups, some downs, but yes, definitely the most memorable moments for the Dallas Cowboys. And we're going to try to get the most out of it when we release that show on Tuesday.
So yeah, and if you're someone that normally just listens, that's a good one with the clips. That's going to be a real good one for audio. Not sorry for video watching if you can. And with when we release it, if you're traveling for the holiday, especially if you're flying, maybe you download that episode ahead of time so you can watch it on the plane. Cue it up while you're the passenger in the car. And of course, make sure to share it with all your friends.
Of course, yes. And if you don't know where to find us, should I go for it, Rob? Should I try it?
Yeah, go for it. You got this.
I got this. I could do this. So it's Nick and Rob Homer Hour. We've got a TikTok. We're shaky on Spotify, but we got a YouTube podcast. You found us already on YouTube if you're watching this right now, because that's what most of our content is. Got an Instagram, and then of course follow us on Twitter, Nick and Rob Homer Hour. How'd I do, Rob?
Nick, that was fantastic. Well done. And please, as always, if you haven't done it yet while you're listening to me talk, go hit that like button. The more likes we get, that really does help us in the algorithm. It helps us to pop up to more people. And please go ahead and share it with a friend. Whether you've got another friend that's a big Cowboys or Patriots or Colts fan, or you got someone that really hates one of those teams, go ahead, share it with them. And of course, interact with us. Leave comments on our Instagram, on our X, all that stuff. We will soon, within, I would say, before this regular season ends, we will have another live stream. Another one's coming. I know it's been a little bit. It's been about a month. It's been a hectic schedule. We got another one coming. Don't worry, Tony, if you're still out there, I hope you are. We're coming back. New England, Rhode Island crew, we're coming back for a live stream soon. So
Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. So yes, until then, like I said, we're gonna release those episodes, one on Tuesday and one on Christmas. But until then, I guess we're gonna see you in about 2 weeks. 2 weeks for live content.
yes, and you can expect us back to the normal pod schedule. If there were key things that happened this week, we might mention them a little bit, but obviously that'll be a little bit dated. We'll be focused more on what just happened for sure.
Yes, and hating comments are welcomed. I love it. So keep firing
Bring
those away
'em.
too. Yeah, we're down
Bring
for
'em.
a fight too. So I love that too. But we'll see you next time.